Hello and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Some viewers are of the opinion that a second season of Big Brother's All-Stars could be in order with the upcoming 28th season. The format has only been used twice by the franchise, in Season 7 in 2006 and Season 22 in 2020, with iconic characters like Janelle Pierzina and Dr. Will Kirby, Danielle Reyes, and more recent players like Tyler Crispin and Cody Calafiore. Viewers are already debating who should return and arguing for some unexpected choices as the level of speculation grows. Fans share their unexpected picks for a potential All-Stars cast. Despite the lack of a confirmed theme, one viral post has already sparked discussion regarding who should be included. After X-user @ShakenJake3 asked his followers and fans a straightforward question, scenario, BB28 is All-Stars 3. The conversation took off. Who has been your most frequent Hear Me Out house guest? In other words, a Hear Me Out pick is a less obvious choice, someone fans might have to convince others deserves a spot on an All-Stars cast. Some fans came in strong with passionate arguments for players they believe were overlooked the first time around. Since it was posted on March 21st, the post has received nearly 50,000 views and more than 170 responses. To start the discussion, the original post's author wrote, "Any answer other than Brittany Hoops is wrong, and I will die on the hill that she could have won BB24. He was arguing for the Season 24 house guest, who was closely aligned with Michael Bruner, but was frequently viewed as playing a more emotional game. Other people pointed to Michelle Meyer, better known as Big Meech from BB18, with one fan confidently declaring she's taking it. Meyer became a memorable figure for her very emotional reactions and unpredictable gameplay. More recent players also made the list, including Blue Kim from Season 25 and Morgan Pope and winner Ashley Hollis from Season 27. The latter is a surprising pick. Despite her victory, she wasn't necessarily viewed as a dominant or traditional All-Stars archetype. Some fans reached further back into the show's history with picks like Steve Moses, the winner of Season 17. He was a more quiet competitor early on in the game, but elevated his gameplay with his under-the-radar strategy that ultimately helped him secure the victory. Even newer era players like Matthew Turner from Season 24 and Ava Pearl from the most recent season were floated as potential returnees, with one fan pleading, "Please hear me out, y'all," while pitching their choice. Not everyone agrees on what counts as an all-star. In addition to the individual names, the thread sparked a larger discussion among fans about what exactly constitutes an all-star. When one user posted a GIF of Brett Robinson from Season 20, another user responded, writing, "This is a pretty popular opinion and wouldn't classify as a Hear Me Out contestant." Similarly, the mention of BB24's Michael Bruner, a dominant competition player who set multiple records, led some to question whether he is an overly obvious choice for a hypothetical All-Stars season. The original poster responded, "I haven't seen anyone else say it," demonstrating how subjective the conversation can be. "Some of y'all are confusing all-stars with returnees," a fan stated, highlighting the distinction between players with unfinished business and cast favorites. One of the most passionate and opinionated communities in reality television has always been the Big Brother fanbase. From heated debates over strategy to emotional reactions to blindsides, fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So when whispers of a potential All-Stars season began circulating again, it didn't take long for the internet to do what it does best, cast the season themselves. Viewers have been creating their ideal lineups through fan polls, social media threads, and forums. Some choices feel obvious, legends whose names are practically synonymous with the game, but others, they are surprising and even controversial.
And that's exactly what makes this fan-driven All-Stars pitch so fascinating. The titans of the game, players who not only won or made it far, but also changed the way Big Brother is played, are at the top of nearly every list. These are the masterminds, the social liars, and the beasts of competition. Fans argue that an All-Stars season without at least a few of these iconic figures wouldn't feel complete. They add credibility, a touch of nostalgia, and the kind of gameplay that makes moments go viral. But what's more interesting is how fans are shifting their definition of what an all-star actually is. In previous seasons, the term all-star typically referred to the very best players, those who finished first, won, and were dominant. Now, fans are pushing for something different. They want disorder. They want unfinished business. They want personalities that made the show unforgettable even if their gameplay wasn't perfect. Take, for example, the rise in support for early EVTs who left a strong impression. These are the players who barely had time to play but showed flashes of brilliance, or at least entertainment, before being sent home. Fans argue that these contestants deserve a second chance, especially in a cast full of experienced players, where they might finally get room to breathe. Then there are the robbed players, a category that sparks endless debate. These are contestants who seemed destined to win, but were taken out by twists, betrayals, or one crucial mistake. For fans, bringing them back isn't just about entertainment, it's about justice. A chance to rewrite history and a redemption storyline developed during an All-Stars season. Surprisingly, some of the most popular fan picks aren't strategic powerhouses at all, they're personalities. Reality TV thrives on big characters, and Big Brother is no exception. Fans are rallying behind house guests who brought humor, drama, or emotional depth to the show. These are the players who made feeds worth watching at 3 a.m., who turned mundane moments into must-see TV. These personalities could be the unpredictability wildcards that shake everything up in a house full of calculated strategists. And perhaps the most unexpected trend of all, fans calling for rivals to return together. Unresolved disputes have an irresistible appeal. Whether it's bitter jury votes, explosive arguments, or alliances that ended in betrayal, fans want to see those stories continue. Imagine former allies forced to work together again, or enemies trapped in the same house with nowhere to hide. It's the kind of tension that practically guarantees unforgettable television. Of course, casting an All-Stars season isn't just about individual players, it's about balance. Fans are carefully considering how different archetypes would interact. Too many strategists and the game could become predictable. Too many wildcards and it could spiral into chaos without direction. The ideal cast, according to fans, is a mix: masterminds, underdogs, villains, heroes, and everything in between. Another major factor is era representation. Longtime viewers want to see legends from earlier seasons go head-to-head with modern players who grew up studying the game. It's a clash of styles, old-school loyalty versus new-school strategy, that could redefine what it means to win Big Brother today. But with all these dream casts comes one inevitable reality: not everyone can make the cut. Disagreement is sparked by each fan list. For every player someone champions, another fan argues they're overrated. Social media debates quickly turn into full-blown arguments, with users defending their picks like they're part of their own alliance. And in a way, that's the magic of it all. Fans are playing the game outside the house, strategizing and campaigning for their favorites. Additionally, there's the issue of whether or not some players ought to return at all. A few fan-favorite contestants have already played multiple times. While their legacy is undeniable, some viewers worry that bringing them back again could overshadow newer faces. Others argue the opposite, that these veterans are essential, providing the experience and reputation that make an All-Stars season feel truly special. Interestingly, some fans are even suggesting unconventional casting choices, players who didn't necessarily shine during their original season but have grown since then. Maybe they've studied the game more deeply, matured personally, or simply gained the confidence they lacked before. These picks add an element of unpredictability. Who knows how they might perform the second time around? And then there's the wild card of all wild cards, players known more for controversy than gameplay. While risky, these choices often generate the most buzz. Love them or hate them, controversial house guests bring attention, and attention drives ratings. Fans are divided on whether they should be included, but one thing is certain: their presence would guarantee drama. As the fan cast lists continue to evolve, one theme becomes clear. Big Brother isn't just a show, it's a shared experience. Fans don't just want to watch an All-Star season, they want to shape it. Their dream casts reflect not only their favorite players, but also their vision of what the game should be.
This time, the rumors about a Big Brother All-Star season are not coming from the producers. Instead, they are spreading like wildfire. The fans are behind it. Across Reddit threads, Twitter debates, and fan forums, viewers are doing what they do best, building their own dream cast. However, these are not merely nostalgic wish lists with predetermined legends. The fan-driven selections, on the other hand, are daring, novel, and occasionally downright surprising. At first glance, you'll find the expected names, the strategic masterminds, competition beasts, and social game icons who defined entire seasons. These players are considered the backbone of any legitimate All-Stars lineup. Fans argue that, without them, the season would lack credibility. They're the ones who understand the game at its deepest level, capable of manipulating alliances, orchestrating blindsides, and delivering jaw-dropping moments. However, the true story isn't who fans think it is, it's who they don't. The conventional notion of an all-star is being challenged by a growing number of viewers. Instead of focusing only on winners and finalists, they're advocating for players who brought something different to the table: chaos, personality, or untapped potential. One of the most surprising trends is the push for early evictees to return. On paper, it sounds strange. Why bring back someone who barely lasted a few weeks? However, supporters contend that some of these contestants displayed flashes of brilliance before being eliminated prematurely. Maybe they were targeted as immediate threats, or maybe they simply got unlucky. Either way, there's a sense that their story feels incomplete. In an all-star season filled with experienced players, these underdogs could have a real chance to shine. Then there's the category fans feel most passionate about: the robbed players. These are the contestants who seemed destined for greatness, but fell just short, often due to a twist, a betrayal, or a single miscalculation. Fans haven't forgotten them. In fact, they've built entire arguments around why these players deserve redemption. In this sense, an all-star season transforms into a second chance at justice rather than just entertainment. But not every pick is about strategy. Players who simply made the show irreplaceable are some of the most talked about fan choices. They weren't always the best game players, but they were the most watchable. They captivated viewers by bringing humor, moving scenes, and explosive drama to the live feeds. In a house full of calculated strategists, these personalities could be the ultimate disruptors. Fans want them back precisely because they don't always follow the rules. Another surprising turn in fan casting? Rivalries. The reunion of former allies and foes under one roof is eagerly anticipated by viewers. It is impossible to ignore the possibility of unresolved tensions manifesting themselves in real time. Imagine two players who once trusted each other completely, now forced to question every move, or bitter rivals who are unable to separate themselves from one another and are ensnared in a game in which cooperation may be their only chance of winning. It's not just a game, it's business that hasn't been done. Of course, crafting the perfect All-Stars cast isn't easy. Fans are carefully debating balance. A sluggish and overly cautious game could result from having too many strategic players.
Too many chaotic personalities could create non-stop drama, but little meaningful gameplay. The ideal lineup, according to most fans, is a mix of both. There's also a strong push for representation across different eras of the show. Longtime viewers want to see old-school legends face off against modern players who grew up studying the game. It's a fascinating clash of styles: loyalty versus adaptability, patience versus speed, instinct versus analytics. And then comes the inevitable controversy. No matter how strong a fan-cast lineup looks, there will always be disagreement. Some players are labeled overrated, while others are criticized for not doing enough to earn a second shot. Social media debates quickly escalate, with fans passionately defending their choices like they're campaigning for an alliance partner. It's interesting to note that some fans are also debating whether or not some iconic players should return. While their legacy is undeniable, there's concern that bringing them back again might overshadow newer or less explored contestants. Others argue the opposite, that these veterans are essential, providing the star power and experience that define an all-star season. It's difficult to strike a balance between honoring the past and coming up with something new. Perhaps the boldest fan suggestions involve players who didn't shine during their original run, but have grown significantly since then. These picks are based on potential rather than past performance. Fans believe that with more life experience, a better understanding of the game, and a second chance, these contestants could completely reinvent themselves. And that unpredictability, it's exactly what makes Big Brother so compelling. Then there's the wildcard category, controversial players. These are the house guests who sparked debates, divided audiences, and sometimes even overshadowed the game itself. Including them in an all-stars cast is risky, but it also guarantees attention. Fans are split on whether they deserve another shot, but there's no denying the impact they would have on the season. As these fan-created casts continue to evolve, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just speculation, it's participation. Fans aren't just waiting for something to be said, they're actively shaping what they want the show to be. Their picks reflect not only their favorite players, but also their vision of the perfect season, one that balances strategy, emotion, unpredictability, and entertainment. It's unknown whether the Big Brother producers are paying attention, but if they are, they'll find a passionate, creative, and deeply invested community ready to weigh in. Because at its core, Big Brother has always been more than just a game. It's a social experiment, a competition, and a shared experience between players and viewers alike. And an all-star season, that's where everything comes together. Legacies are tested, reputations are challenged, and even the most celebrated players can find themselves vulnerable in a house full of equals. So, as fans continue to debate their dream casts and campaign for their favorites, one question lingers above all. If these surprising picks actually walked back through those doors, who would rise, who would fall, and who would finally claim the title once and for all? In the world of Big Brother, the only thing more unpredictable than the game itself is the fans who love it.